This is a 2006 Ford GT, an absolute icon in my opinion and one of the latest cars to receive an engine swap with update 1.57 to Gran Turismo 7. So with that being said, this car is absolutely fantastic, and if you want to get your hands on it, well, you can get it from Brand Central right now. Now this car is not cheap, coming in at 460,000 credits. It is quite a lot, but you are getting 550 brake horsepower and a vehicle that only weighs 1,451 kgs. And whilst I get it from Brand Central, because you can then have your selection of colors, because you have 21 different color options to choose from for your Ford GTs. Now this Ford that I'm driving is far from standard, because you see, when it comes to lap times around Kyoto Driving Park, I'm setting lap times around the 1 minute 33 second mark, which is extremely competitive. Now when it comes to performance stats of this Ford that's fully upgraded, well, it produces 874 brake horsepower and comes in at a weight of 1,131 kgs. That's why it can set such fast lap times. The vehicle has a great amount of power, is really lightweight, decent amounts of downforce, so this is the perfect candidate for an engine swap. But in Gran Turismo 7, there's only a few engine swaps that can actually improve upon what is already almost perfection, and we got one of those for this vehicle right here. If we come on over to GT Auto, we see we have one engine swap available, and this is for the Windsor 351 out of the GAC Maverick. If you don't know that vehicle, well, standard this engine comes with 1,199 brake horsepower, and we can still go and add power to this engine. So yes, this is gonna be a very spicy power plant for our Ford GT, because we see does it not only add more power, but it also makes the car lighter. So it's just pros all around. So let's not waste time, spend our 250,000 credits, which honestly is not that bad, and come on over to the tuning shop. Now when it comes to the parts that we have available to upgrade to the engine, we see a lot of them are actually not applicable. But for the parts that we do have, like our racing silencer, we see it does add quite a substantial amount of power. Like we have our fully customizable ECU that adds, what's that, 12 brake horsepower, and then our big boy turbocharger, which will now set us up with 1,408 brake horsepower. This vehicle has a power to weight ratio of 0.73. Oh, it's gonna be scary. For this one, I'm actually gonna slap in increased body rigidity to just help with top line speed. So yeah, we're taking all precautions to really just make sure that this Ford GT stays on track. So without further ado, let's head back out onto circuit to see what this performance feels like. Now with our first experience of the now engine swap Ford GT, this is where we're going to see a biggest difference on the straight line, because look at that, 300 kilometers, 310, 320, 330, almost 340 kilometers per hour before we need to slam on the brakes. And that's the thing, thankfully, with it still being a supercar, the brakes were good enough to slow us down and we made it around the first corner. But what's actually taking me by surprise is when we are exiting the corner, because when we get on the power, the vehicle isn't really braking traction as aggressively as I thought it would be. It's still quite tame coming out of the corners, but you do still need to realize this is over 1,400 horsepower, so it's gonna do some things that you might not expect, like going airborne coming over the jump right there. The vehicle has so much power, and even with the level of downforce that it has now, it's still taking off, and we see it still has the strength to completely light up those rear wheels. So you do just need to take that into consideration when you are driving this vehicle. Be very careful how just try to get a feel for what the car is doing. Don't let the car control you. You need to control the car. because otherwise you will find yourself the wrong direction or just in a barrier, and that's not really how you set fast lap times. So talking about lap times, let us now see what we're gonna get in the now engine swap for GT. And we see we are now 2 seconds slower than what the standard engine was capable of, due to the fact of, well, I spun out. So let's try again. But this vehicle now, with the Maverick engine swap in it, I need to put this out there, this vehicle is gonna have terrible fuel consumption. So if you are thinking about using this for money grinding events, steer clear, because this vehicle is an absolute guzzler. It is something that is gonna absolutely drink up all the fuel and not really have you going that far from the pits before you need to revisit them. So just keep that in mind when you are deciding what events to use this vehicle in. But if you are looking for events to use this vehicle in, my suggestion, hypercar parade. That is the go-to, in my opinion, for any supercar or hypercar, ever car with a crazy amount of power, and you still want to run it against some extremely fast vehicles. The hypercar parade is your one clear answer, your one clear place to go to really stretch your car's legs up against cars that might give you a run for your money. Because with the 4GT like this, if the circuit has a long straightaway, there's nothing that's catching this car. Let's see, put the power down and we're gonna see lap time also very similar. Look there, a 1 minute 33. Lap time wise, it's not really looking that much different compared to the standard engine being fully upgraded. So if you are looking for a completely revolutionary engine swap that's gonna completely change the way the 4GT handles, yeah, this is not the option, because we see we are still running very similar lap times. But that could just be down to my driving skill, which isn't really that high. But the 4GT, whatever mistakes you make through corners, once you get on the straightaway, yeah, it's gonna cover up whatever time you lost. Hard on the brakes once again. I just want to get into the 1 minute 32s and then I will be happy, because right now that's what we are actually on pace for. But we see, look at how those rear wheels just lit up, yo. Because at sometimes when you're driving this car, it doesn't feel like it has a 1400 horsepower. It doesn't feel like, you know, whoa, this is a lot faster than it's supposed to be. And then at other times when it's just no traction, straight wheel spin, and you're doing about 200 kilometers per hour, you quickly realize this is no standard 4GT. So let's see now, lap time wise, we are gonna set a 1 minute and 31 second lap, almost a 1 minute 30 second lap. So the 4GT has the capability to set fast, consistent lap times. The longer you use it, the better you will be at you driving a vehicle. So that is just something you need to keep in mind. But with this car having an absolute monstrous engine swap, we need to check out its top speed. Okay, so we are now at Special Route X, because I mean this is the only place to really test top speed, and we're gonna see what the Ford is capable of. And it's not off to a good start, considering the fact that we're already redlining before we even got to the tunnel. So 379 is our first benchmark, but let's just keep it rolling and see how fast we can actually get. Now with the 2017 Ford GT, with the same engine in it, I was able to reach 500 kilometers per hour, but that was with the aid of using nitrous and slipstreaming. So let's see how close we can get to 500 kilometers per hour, if we can even reach that mark in this Ford GT. But right now in 6th, we are currently doing 300 and we are currently doing 450 kilometers per hour. This car is insanely fast. I'm redlining, the gears aren't long enough. So we're gonna head back on over, tuning sheets, and just keep testing it out. So unfortunately I was not able to hit 500 kilometers per hour on my own. That's why we had to pull out the big guns, and by big guns I mean the Chevrolet Corvette in front of me. Now this car is not standard because this is equipped with the engine from the Bugatti Chiron, hence why at 475 kilometers per hour it is pulling away from me. So with the help of nitrous we are currently doing 490. We're doing 500 kilometers per hour. There we go. And as you can see, the Corvette is running away from me. This is with me still full throttle nitrous, and the Corvette is absolutely gone. So look, there we have it, 500 kilometers per hour in the 2006 Ford GT. Yes, we had to get a bit of assistance, but regardless this vehicle is still able to do it. It's an incredibly fast car that has great handling and is a great addition to Gran Turismo 7. I'm glad to see it, yeah. And with this being said, let me know your thoughts and opinions of this engine swap in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.